Danganronpa. Hey folks, how are you all doing? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to chapter 3 of Danganronpa. It is the night before Halloween over here, or as my mom would probably call it, All Hallows Eve Eve. Yeah, it's trial time. We had gotten to the part where we had finished our investigation. We hopped into the elevator to go down into the trial room, and that's where we're about to start up right now. So I know a lot of us have been speculating quite a bit since that night, so hopefully we can put some speculations to rest. Hey Nightfall, welcome back. And we shall see what happens. I have my thoughts on what might have happened, but you know, there's always, as I've learned from the last trial, there's always room for plot twists in the middle of the trial. So I'm very interested to see what happens and what had actually transpired that evening. It's a very complicated situation. Two students had been murdered. And one of them had named a suspect, but that suspect was finally found, and he claims he was asleep the whole time. Hey, Gargamer. How you doing? So yeah, we shall see. I have some thoughts on what may have happened, but I could be completely wrong. So we'll find out. I'm definitely excited to see what had actually transpired. So yeah. Let's go ahead and turn down this music and get to it. Alright, let's turn up this music. And let's see. This new keyboard I'm not used to where my hotkeys are. Get some of these cords out of the way so I'm not stepping on Reaper's cords. Alright. Let's get into it. Hope you guys are all well tonight. I was spending a little time earlier watching a little bit of Arcalis and Snarfy's Paranormal Activity marathon. I'm not a big horror fan, so I have the habit of reading up on what will happen so that I'm not completely freaked out, and it's the anxiety that really gets to me. and so it was I could kind of watch it since I knew what was going to happen, and if there were parts that were really kind of grossing me out, I could just turn it off and be comfortable with that fact that I pretty much knew what was going to happen, but still can be pretty scary. I'm definitely not a scary fan. Not a fan of the scares. Definitely not the jump scares. But I also have issues with some of those movies because I'm like, the logic doesn't make any sense. You don't hide with your flashlight still on. That doesn't make any sense. That feel when you crit an enemy for over 100,000. Where are you playing Nightfall? It tends to scare me even after it's off. Yeah, X-Men, it definitely does for me. I mean, I ended up turning on more lights in the house. Once I started watching some of those, I was like, alright, I mean, obviously it's creeping in. It's creeping into my head. Alright. Hopefully you guys won't get any beeps or interference. And we've been having this long-standing issue with the camera and audio going out of sync from each other. It seems to happen even if it's only in an hour into the stream. So you might catch me messing with my camera about an hour or two in just to kind of resync the camera. But if you guys notice a desync that's bothering you, it bothers me when there's a desync. Just say something. Just say, hey, Deso, desync, and I can fix it. I'd much rather that than you guys put up with like weirdness and thinking it might be your connection, because it's most likely my connection. We think it might be a USB thing. It might be something better solved with an internal capture card, because also I have the PSTV going through a splitter and then going to the external capture card before it goes to the computer. So there's several delays going on that just gets built up over time as well. And not a lot I can do about it as far as I can tell. So it's a little frustrating, but what can you do? All right, let's go ahead and continue. All right. Let's see what kind of skills we've got going on. Lost in Thought increases the time limit for each phase, effective during the class trial. That sounds good. That must have been the one I had gotten most recently. Playing Elsword. Oh yeah, I've heard of that one. I haven't tried it myself, but I've seen other folks playing it. It looks pretty interesting. Handiwork allows you to reload 2 bullets at once, effective during the bullet time battle. Reload 2 bullets at once, interesting. Well, it's a good thing I have the extra SP. Because I was like, ugh, I don't need all this extra SP, but it's definitely helping now. But so many skills I don't have. It's pretty interesting. Alright, let's take a look at these truth bullets that we've got here. Take a quick look. Cause of death was a blow to the head. Similar weapon. Tarp was found in a repository under Kiyotaka's lifeless body. It is apparently used to move Kiyotaka in order to avoid leaving any blood stains. The dolly was found when the body was rediscovered in the repository. This specific dolly has no handles, and blood was found on one of its wheels. It is assumed that this is the same dolly that was in the equipment room where Kiyotaka's body was originally discovered. When they were first found in the nurse's office, Ifumi's glasses were covered in blood. However, when they were next seen in the repository, they're completely clean. We're playing together if you ever try it. Sounds good, Nightfall. Hammers of all shapes and sizes were found in the repository. One of them was found wet and apparently been recently washed. The door reconnecting the art room to the repository was designed to open only from the repository side. According to Aoi, or Aoi, I can never, like, I know that's the word for blue, I believe, but I'm terrible at saying that word. Aoi, maybe. I would gladly teach you a game. I will take it into consideration. It was locked during the search for the missing body. However, when the body was rediscovered, it had somehow been unlocked. A puddle of blood was found in the equipment room where Kiyotaka's body was initially found. A tire track had been left behind in the blood. And you guys will have to excuse me if my voice sounds a little scratchy at all. I had strained it probably a little bit when we had played the other night. It was a lot of talking and reading. And definitely strained it from the concert I went to last night, just from yelling, the usual concert thing. It just sounds weird to me, and I don't know if it's because my hearing's all messed up right now too, because we're standing so close to speakers. But yeah, you'll have to excuse that. Hard because I don't think it's, because they don't really do a, right? Because the sound in Japanese is rather than a. At least I thought. Yeah, it's usually like aki. So I was assuming that would be aoi, but maybe if you think it's aoi, I don't know if it's aoi though. The cloth was found in the trash can in the nurse's office. It is branded with a popular cartoon character and was found with blood on it. One has to wonder if someone used it to wipe some blood away. Ifumi's body disappeared when Celeste and I left the nurse's office to use the bathroom. Apparently they weren't gone for more than a minute or two. Meet in the dining hall. This is the note that Yasuhiro wrote to get everyone to meet in the dining hall. Meet in the dining hall is all it says. The handwriting is remarkably neat and clear. These are blueprints for Robo Justice, which were found in Yasuhiro's room. No one but Yasuhiro could have possibly fit into Aoi. Aoi? 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 Maybe it's Aoi. That's true. It might not be Oi because of the I. Does that help? Aoi might be it, but I feel like it might be Aoi, but because usually I was trying to think because I don't because I don't think there's a it's not a syllabary. I don't think, or is it a syllabary? Syllabary is more like an alphabet. I'm trying to think of the right word, but there's not really a word that goes with A-O, I don't think. It's more like A than O-I. Not sure. I'll have to look it up later. It's good to hear everyone's thoughts on what it might be, though. No one but Yasuhiro could have possibly fit into the costume. That's probably why they call her Hina, because it's so hard to say that name. In addition, anyone wearing it would not be able to see their feet or bend at the waist more than 90 degrees. Apparently Yasuhiro received a mysterious note last night. The note reads, "I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m. I might also have to get up and close the door to my streaming room. Currently no one's home, as far as I know. Yeah, no one's home right now. You said it correctly? Oh, okay. No worries. And it's nice to get some air in here. But if my roommate comes home, I have to close the door so it doesn't bother him, and so that you guys don't pick up the noise from him being in the house. So if you do catch me needing to get up for a second, that's probably what I'm doing. Kiyotaka's wristwatch broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock. It is confirmed that as of late last night, the watch still worked, which means it must have broken the following morning when he was attacked. Kiyotaka's lifeless hand was found clutching a small scrap of paper. Hifumi had this note hidden on him. One edge of it appears to be torn. The note reads, "I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m. Each handbook has their own e-handbook, which also acts as a key card. The owner's name is displayed each time the handbook is booted up. It is believed that no handbooks were involved in carrying out the murders this time." Alright, good info. Alright. I think we're gonna just jump right into it, folks.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one...
In RPGs, what kind of characters do you like to play? It depends. I usually tend towards ranged fighters. I do enjoy characters that can heal. Usually I like them to be able to be self-sufficient, like heal themselves, and to fight at a distance so that they have that natural protection. I also have a tendency to really enjoy like creatures or characters that I keep switching my slippers around. Characters that have a connection with nature, like if they control or have an animal or familiar. I really enjoy those sort of characters as well. So I tend to go for kind of a distance fighters. I like some sort of a support, whether it be in a minion or self-support in terms of having healing powers. Elves are cool. I like elves. But I'm definitely usually not the brawlers, or I don't always go towards the magician type unless they are able to have some of those similar qualities of range fighting plus having their own support character.
Then I'll punish everyone besides the Blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
Audio sounds weird to me, but it might just be my ear being weird. It might be my ear.
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Just checking on... Yeah, it looks okay. Just checking out the resolution. I know Reaper had to mess with the resolution a little because he had plugged in the other... he was using the TV as a dual screen, so just want to make sure it all looks okay.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer, or... You're so mad right now. What's wrong, Reaper? And hi. What's going on, man? Are you still in the store? Is that why? I bet... Because you were supposed to be done at 8:30 usually. I bet there's probably still people in your store, or something like that. Poor Reaper's had a hard time today. Very annoying day. I can think of a few characters you might enjoy. Before anything else, we have to make that clear. I'm just now leaving the store. I set off the alarm 3 times. Poor Reaper.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true! It's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
I mean, looking at the blueprints, the handwriting is awful messy. If I remember right, Hiro's handwriting is.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
Oh.
It's not true! It's against Hiro rules! No! Just hold on a second!
Alright, get some chipmunk music here, folks.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all...
No, that's wrong.
It took you 20 minutes to set the alarm without setting it
Are we
off.
sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
And it caused you to miss your train, won't be home until almost 10. Oh, I'm sorry, Reaper. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, even though it's technically a closer train station. Oh, Reaper, I'm so sorry. It's okay. I know that that system is tricky. I know you've had trouble with it before, and I'm sure you'll get it soon enough. It's okay, relax. You'll be home soon and can sleep in, and it'll be awesome. Just be careful. Just get home safe. Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
X-Men, huh?
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, Are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro is innocent as well.
What? Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Byakuya, please. Oh, pleading idiocy. Of course, he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
The suspicious individual in person, the one that must have been in the suit.
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
Aw, thank you for the retweets and favorites, folks. Much appreciated. Aw, looks like we have some other friends playing games as well. That's awesome. Speculates wildly.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
The things that were used to move Taka's body, they must have been...
I got it!
There's still one more thing.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body?
It's technically a handcart, I know. It's not quite a dolly. But, I mean, I know we call it a dolly also, sometimes. But, yeah, it's more of a cart. But I know people kind of interchange those words.
That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Celeste.
We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Damn. I thought Celeste was my friend. Why is she being so mean? Wow, I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean. But maybe I can change her mind. If I can just explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. A new element has been added to bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more? Another element? I call it a dolly too. Hey, Apocalypse. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with this next bullet time battle, we're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the temple marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements, but from now on, just locking on and pressing the triangle button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the square button. You can also reload by tapping the bottom left section of the screen. Just like locking on, you'll have to press square button in time with the tempo marker. Interesting. Huh, okay. Or simply tap the screen. Basically, just remember that the square button now has a function along with the X and the triangle buttons. Okay. You'll automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. It's good to know. I already forgot about fever time. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. Alright, it's already bullet time.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Do your worst. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. I cannot agree.
This should prove it. If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, does Celeste really hate me that much? Bang, get wrecked, Tyrannosaurus wrecked.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
That's good to hear, Apocalypse. I hope you enjoyed the little marathon that Arcalis was happening.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? I already know what that means. You haven't seen a few of them. Ooh. Robo-Justice costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, The body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Oh, oops. Alright,
Shoot!
let's try that again.
As we know, Taka was killed.
And from there, the body, the culprit wrapped the body, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Oh. There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Byakuya is the scariest of the group. He's pretty scary.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
Well, what do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
How the internet feels right before Halloween. Uh-oh. What have you got for me, Nightfall? That's a pretty adorable gift. Oh, that little to shake. That's pretty good. There's absolutely no chance that the costume was taken off just to move the body because...
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I didn't make this stupid friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. I don't think you could get it off on your own. We really don't have a choice. Let's help him.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
It seems like a terrible design for an outfit that has a clasp on it that you can't remove yourself. That's kind of annoying.
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
Shh. You guys can whisper. Just not speculating in the chat.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice. That's why I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question.
Let's see. What has Gargamer got for me? But that's your avatar image, Gargamer. Don't you always look like that?
The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it.
By the way, based on description you gave me, I think you might like Reina. She might be an archer, but she can most certainly kick people to death if need be. Elemental arrows coupled with the ability to charge her mana just by standing in place for a second. Cool, Nightfall.
Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe
Just
we'll
also
uncover
no.
something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Hey Guru, welcome back. I hope you're well tonight.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi.
You're good, just got home. How's everything? Not bad. We've only been playing for about half an hour or so. So, yeah, doing pretty well. We're in the trial, finally, for Chapter 3. Very complicated storyline so far, but I'm definitely interested to see who actually is responsible. I have my thoughts, I have my speculations, but I'm keeping them to myself. I would appreciate if others also do the same before the truth is revealed. Yeah, and then we could chat about it after it's all done. But I think it's pretty interesting so far. Hopefully work goes good.
We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I saw a shadow. Something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
And then...
What was that? It came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room.
Wearing a splash art. Beautiful. Let me take a look. Aww. She's really cute. Glad to know this game is keeping you thinking, Day, so can't wait to find out what's going on.
We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time. Because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for two missing dead bodies.
Gargamer, please. Thinking is not for idiots. Thinking is important. Thinking is important because sometimes saying things too quickly without thinking can be even worse.
And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I should also mention that each individual character has 3 different class paths that they could choose from. Each path changes a character's appearance and skill set. Each path is essentially a whole new character. That's cool, Nightfall. It kind of sounds like how characters work in D&D, where you can take subclasses and that can pretty drastically change your character. You're not an idiot, Nightfall. No one is an idiot.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation.
I agree, Kyoko.
And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. Monokuma file number 3.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I love D&D. In fact, I'm starting a campaign tomorrow. I'm testing an idea I had for playing with a group of online friends. It's awesome, X-Men. Really using that one.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death
Came from a swing. See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Okay, let's try this again.
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if he died,
or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Not that one.
Shoot!
Must be
So,
the first one.
regarding Taka, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
Ugh. Let's see. I might have to do the other thing. Isn't that good?
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a
Swing of Justice. So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
It was okay.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
All the Reina classes. That's pretty cool. She does look different in each one. Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time he must have died. Oh yeah, there was. Hangman's Gambit. Let's see. Aw, failed. That's not good. Nobody believes me. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Uh-oh, have we already come to the end of the debate? Well then, the class trial is officially adjourned. Now it's time to reveal who's the blackened. No. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It would appear that the ones with the most votes is Makoto. Aww. I was wondering what would happen if I fail. However, Makoto is not the blackened. Too bad. Looks like the real killer gets to graduate. Congratulations. That's not how you spoke. Congratulations. Congratulations to them. Oh, I get it, because they're trying to play on the word graduate. On the other hand, everyone else must now be punished.
Is this really the end for all of us?
Is it over? What do you say? Want to give it another shot? Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
Alright. Let's give it another shot. Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. I thought... Am I not typing in the right letters? Let's try this again. I thought I was picking the right letters, but maybe I'm not.
Is this really?
I know.
I refuse to give up yet.
I thought I'm supposed to be spelling wristwatch, but don't tell me. I'll figure this out. I was like, at least they're giving me continues. Hangman's Gambit. 10 letters left. Okay. Oh, I see. I have to do it in the order. I gotcha. I gotcha now. Oops. I get it now. I didn't think I had to do it in the order that they wanted, so that makes a lot of sense now. It makes sense now. I was like, I know what the word's supposed to be.
I got it.
I didn't think it
Taka's
mattered what
wristwatch.
order I was putting them in. Taka's wristwatch.
See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Hey, you, how long are you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that? Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
I always thought the Hangman's Gambit was funny, and Makoto just stands there with his eyes closed waiting for an epiphany. 5 minutes pass and everyone thinks he's insane. I know, it's like, come on, it was obviously the wristwatch. It doesn't make any sense, but I know they're trying to throw in some interesting mini-games.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window.
That's a good point.
Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That man would keep me alive. But what about Kyoko? I don't know. Maybe Kyoko will betray us. You like insane people.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder.
They're often smarter than you think. Usually. You know how in a lot of RPGs you only make one character?
But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Huh? What was that? Although she probably wouldn't say much to me. Yeah, that's true. That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
20 on one account? That's a lot of characters.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on.
I see her plays.
If that's true, where's the tape?
All with their own items and such. You can also trade items between them. Nice.
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So
What now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing.
I know how.
And according to what Celeste said,
It could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time? It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Duh, guys. Makoto plays.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is
Hifumi wasn't dead.
we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Yep, he was alive. And he faked
Are
it.
you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
Yep.
That it isn't possible.
Nope. There were blood bags in the fridge. The idea that Hifumi was still alive. Is it really possible? Sure, it's possible. There are blood bags in the nurse's office. We found those ourselves. Alright.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
There goes your ideas. Oh, I'm sorry, X-Men. Yeah, I had a feeling that Hifumi was already alive, and he was involved in what had actually happened. It's a pretty smart idea. But I will leave it at that. I have more speculations beyond that, but I'll keep that to myself. Hey, Sis. Oh, Sis. It's okay. They purposely wanted to lead the character to think that. Let's see. All right, how do I do
Are you
this?
saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, that's wrong.
Well, time to build it back up.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
Yeah, they timed it pretty well.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Exactly.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
Celeste, please. Because when Hifumi actually died, they played it again.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Second body discovery announcement. The first time it played was when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. And the second time was when, just after Hifumi came back to life. Both bodies. Oops, is it the wrong one? Second announcement came right after Hifumi woke up for the last time, I think. Oops, did I choose the wrong one?
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
A body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
He is pretty lame. He's just trying to play the devil's advocate in a lot of ways for the sake of the player, I'm sure. They don't want to... It's a tricky line. You don't want to assume that the player knows as much as the designer knows. So it's tricky. You want them to be kind of stupid. Because you don't want to make the actual player feel stupid for not figuring out. It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Oh,
Okay then,
Celeste.
let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned,
Oh, whoops. Wrong one. Why Sakura looks like she came from Fist of the North Star. Was she battling Katsuro against Kino?
Shoot!
Whoops. My bad. Let's try this again.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
but when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Conchito.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... what exactly?
Oh, Yasuhiro, how are you not dead yet?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office.
How dare you accuse me of being a nerd?
He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere!
Yep. I'm surprised they didn't find a blood packet.
But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who'd just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Mm-hmm.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Mm-hmm.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Hell.
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been... I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Huffy!
Huffy. TikTok.
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Genocide Jill is pretty awesome. Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary. But still, I can't let her get to me.
Puppy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong.
Chronicles of TikTok and Huffy. Never forget.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. Ugh. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they'd found a way out.
She has a split personality, Sis. She can jump back and forth between the two, sometimes just with a sneeze.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly, which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Sorry, no.
Hero, please.
When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead. The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
Nope.
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments.
There's a whole wall of hammers, people.
But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Oh, I know, sis. I know. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes, like, late at night, or if, like, there's a decent amount of people, like, transcoding will switch over to someone who has less. It's happened to Reaper and Arcalis. May have happened to me at one point, so it happens sometimes. It's rare, though. Somehow I have to find the truth. You already found the truth. I already know. The buffering on source on your end is... Oh, I'm sorry.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear.
I wonder if that's a
The
real
murder
website.
weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers! And
No, that's wrong.
Nope. Shiny. Shiny, please.
The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi.
It probably is an actual website, which is kind of interesting.
Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
Slimmy. Hey, it's Slimmy. How's it going?
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... Come on, guys.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Let's see. Alright, sis. I know, I gotta figure out when exactly I want to shoot. Alright.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply
No, that's wrong! Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
Yeah, I know, Shiny. I've had to deal with that already.
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
Those two official games are hard, to spare girls was easy. Really, Simi? That's good to know. I have all of them. This is my first time playing this one. But it's good to know that the last one that Despair Girls is easy, just because I was like, the gameplay's a little different, so I wasn't sure how I would like it, or if it'd be difficult. But if it's easy, that's good. X-Men, please. So lewd.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. Which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing. Although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. I think I know who it is. I'm gonna say it's her.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am
At
I?
least that's been my speculation.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
Ooh, she's losing her accent.
Pardonnez-moi.
Hey, Azrael.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it?
I love her crazy side.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Byakuya, please. That's not necessary. He's such an asshole. Hey, Azrael.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He's such a douche. A sexy, sexy douche. I don't Like, when I started to suspect that it was Celeste, I was like, I don't want it to be Celeste because I love Celeste, but we shall see. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So
that we would
discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
Thank you for the follow, Azrael. I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
When they offered the $10 million, I was like, I think Celeste will probably want that money. I mean, she's a master gambler after all.
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Of course, Celeste.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die, just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed, so Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
I'd want that money.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. although I don't really get what it means.
Poor Hero was trapped in that locker the whole time.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make any sense. But what is he alluding to?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Oops. Wrong one.
Shoot!
Alright, let's try that again.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing. We must be positive. We are all going to die. We are going to die. Just like those guys. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it, what was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys.
No, that's wrong.
Love him and loathe him. Hero's so annoying.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
Heroes love, Hero has life.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You've actually seen the show, so watching this is a little weird. I haven't seen the show, Shiny. Interesting. And, 420 Hero.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You
What
know
makes
that?
me sad is that I do like Celeste. I don't want to see her die, but it's a pretty cruel fate. Yeah, there's an anime.
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer.
Hero's everything. Hero's my lord and savior.
In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Celeste, we're not that stupid.
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Reaper, welcome home. How are you doing? I'm glad you're home safe and sound. Alright, Azrael, good to meet you. Thanks so much for coming on by and supporting the stream by following and hanging out and chatting. Hopefully we will see you again soon. I know, Reaper, I'm so sad that we might be killing off Celeste here, as far as I can tell. Thank you, Azrael. You've been home for a while. Yes, that's what I figured. I heard you home for a bit, just relaxing. Good, good. Are you planning on streaming tonight? I want to make sure you get a chance to get your stream in. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is figuring the suspect had been drinking, dancing. Hifumi dancing. Dancing? Is this some kind of bad joke? Surely it can't be serious. I guess I was wrong. Well, I don't think it's any of those. It's just posed. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. Been drinking. Guess I'll try this one.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away.
Awesome, Ezra. I'm not sure. It'd be nice, but I'm still feeling a little meh. Yeah, that's fine. I figure if that's the case, I can probably stream until this case is done, and then I'll call it, and then you can kind of decide what you feel like. I just was going to call it earlier if you want to stream sooner, but thankfully we don't have anywhere to be in the morning. You're all for number 2. It was one of those days. Totally understandable, Reaper. Totally understandable. I did bring home The Incredibles, and we still have Up, so we could always watch something if you want to just relax. Otherwise, we could just hang out after the stream or get some food or something. It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away.
I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
I don't even know what that means.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit.
Oh, I see what they mean. Like, he's carrying him. That makes sense.
We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther.
Food sounds good. Munch on Asian snacks at the moment. There's also the casserole, if you would like any of the casserole. I also got some pizza rolls, in case you want to make any pizza rolls. Yeah, Reaper hasn't seen The Incredibles, which I was surprised about, so I think he would really like that. Up is also excellent. I've been trying to push him to see that, because I wouldn't mind watching that again. Slimmy.
If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Damn, Celeste being a bitch. I love it. Reaper, I felt bad. I ate the other Chinese tamale thing, the Jonin. So yeah, it was good. It had Chinese sausage in it. I was like, I could wait, but Reaper might want a bigger meal. This is more like a snack, so I'll just have this to tide me over before the stream. She's taking us with her. I know, bitch mode activate. Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? But I mean, we can easily get more of those tomorrow from my parents. Alright, let's see. Well, you did. Oh, yeah, that's true, Reaper. It's only fair. Let's see.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
Alright.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious...
Oh, oops, wrong one.
Shoot!
You can order something for us if you want. Not sure if you're still hungry. Not going to watch Toy Story. It's gone too far already. Oh. Toy Story was pretty good. I was surprised that the sequels were pretty good. So it did a good deal. Yeah, good order food, Reaper. I'm open to that if you want to get pizza or Chinese food, although it's too late for Chinese food at this point. Unless you're thinking Diner Dash, or DoorDash, which is a little pricey, as we know, but it is an option. But I'm okay with just having more snacks. It just depends on how late you want to stay up. Like I said, like I'd be fine with like pizza rolls, or there's also sandwich stuff, and casserole left as well. Okay, let's try this again.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit.
I missed.
Get away!
Let's try this again.
You dressed me up in that suit.
Fast forward here.
You tried to make me look like the... Like I said, as you can see in the picture,
If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight.
There we
No,
go.
that's wrong.
Reaper, can you get me a syringe of pizza? Inject it directly into my veins.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Alright, Slimmy. Take care. Thanks so much for coming on by.
Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight. Pizza does sound good. We can do that if you want, Reaper. We can do that if you want. I won't eat too much, but you know, leftovers are always handy. I mean, it'll be good to have around for Halloween while we're waiting for trick-or-treaters and whatnot.
That's right! They
They
totally
totally-
made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I keep thinking they're not gonna read it, even though I should know that they will.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Taco Bell. Denny's is still open for DoorDash or Taco Bell. Or we could just have food here and order stuff tomorrow. That's true. We could order stuff tomorrow. Taco Bell doesn't sound that interesting to me tonight. Denny's would probably be too much as well, but you might be hungrier than I am, Reaper, so it depends. I mean, I'm totally okay with just having snacks. I'm not too hungry at the moment, so I'm okay for the moment.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Just make a sandwich, I guess. If it's okay with you, Reaper. I mean, like I said, casserole, pizza rolls, there's tater tots, soups.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Oh, she's flipping out.
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Poor Celeste, I liked her so much too.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Hey, Hifumi, who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right. I remember. Their name. Yasu. Hiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
Can't go wrong with tots. Pizza rolls not filling enough potato tots in pizza rolls. You could probably put them in the oven together, I wonder. Scratch his chin. Eat 10 carrots. We do have carrot sticks as well. You like our excellent voice a lot.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Taro. Just waiting for her head to explode.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Oh, shit.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name.
Indecent?
So sassy, so fierce. You love crazy chicks. Gotta be careful, man. Be careful with them crazy chicks. You're gonna end up with someone like Genocide Jill.
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to. And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say?
The same way you love Joe now. Both are insane ones. You dated crazy before. It goes what fizz half the time.
To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit!
Whoa.
Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Oh, damn.
Well, do I?
Oh my god.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste still won't give up. So then, I have to do something to make her accept it. What are we doing now? Let's see.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
Oops.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is...
Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
I love that's upside down.
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
That's the only truth there is! Moron!
Missed. No, we got away. Hey, Oscar. Must be Japanese. That's not true, Gargamer. There are definitely expats. You know that. Snapping in this or Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright takes it. They go so insane, Guru. I love it. It's like, if anything, this game, like, it's great that it's dark, but it makes me actually love the Ace Attorney series that much more because they so flip out. And it can be a very dark game. It does get very dark sometimes. Alright. Let's try this again.
Hifumi
was trying to tell. He wanted us to know the killer's last name. If there's one person here who... It would have to be you, Celeste. How many times do I have to name? Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Nope.
No, that's
Just
wrong.
got home a few minutes ago. Welcome home. Kind of sleepy, but I mean candy.
That's it.
Nice.
The handbook.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. Apollo Justice is kind of dark, kind of. Yeah, it's kind of dark. I'm looking forward to play the others. I have not played the last two. Like, I haven't played Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton, and I haven't played Dual Destinies yet. So it would be nice. One last body, Blender body. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
I know, Makoto feels the same way I do. It's like, we don't want to believe it, but we know it's true.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because
because... Until the game's over, you never know what might happen!
It's true.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Closing. Begin. Alright. Let's do this. Chat, chat, chat. This was 7 o'clock. Oh no, that's not right. That was a different time. 1 o'clock, yes. Okay. Celeste is the main suspect at this point, so we're putting it together. Let's see. 6 o'clock. Well, that's a little after 6, so it's actually a different time. It's after 7. Oh no, that's 6. It's just at an angle. Let's see. But you'll find out. It'll play out in front of you when I get this all figured out. Poor guy. Poor guy. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, he had his backpack on him. Our safe answer is a school janitor did. It's always the janitor. Janitor or the butler. Let's see. Cookies? Be right back. Switching to PC. Alright, sounds good. It'll still be another few minutes, I'm sure, while I get this together. Poor guy. Let's see if this is it. If this makes sense or not. Oh, I'm missing one here too. Let's give that a shot.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
Oops. Oops. Let's try that again. I thought it could be this other one. Let's try that.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes.
Welcome back, Oscar.
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room.
I think I know why he got talked into helping her. But I'm not going to say anything yet. And it makes sense, because it would relate to why he would be okay with attacking Taka.
The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds, that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap, and started looking for the suspect based on that. But... while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository.
I wonder why she talked him into, how she talked him into moving the body. But I guess we'll find out more.
That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Now kiss.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Now Makoto looks especially like a character from Kingdom Hearts in this drawing. I figure as much, Guru.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor.
I, Celestia Ludenberg.
Actually, no. Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
This is gonna be bad for the later section. C? Not, could have been way worse. Sweet. Oh yeah. 92 medals.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
I don't want to see Celeste go, but I know it had to happen at some point.
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay.
Thank you, X-Men. Hopefully, it sounded like you had different suspicions, X-Men.
If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the Blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Yet another theory. It has a small hole in it. Ah. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. Thank you, Globe. The whole string of evidence for this case is extremely flimsy, but it's very chaotic by design. Yeah, indeed. Bad Celeste. The Blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Celestia Lundenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. You didn't think that Hifumi was in league with her? Ah, I see. Yeah, I was like, because it took me a while to figure out. I was like, why? How did Hifumi's body move? And then I thought about the glasses, and I was like, he was probably still alive. And the fact that he like died a second time kind of confirmed that. I was like, right. So he was actually alive the whole time, and then he was probably betrayed at the very end. It took me a little while to get to like the whole betrayal part. I was still having a hard time putting it together until I realized that Celeste was always the one who was like, oh, I see the shadow over there, and always kind of being the one who kind of motivated where the group should move. It was the glasses in the second death. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. You knew Celeste was one of them. Ah, very good. I'm sure she relied on her specialty. Lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I don't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Then did you use, you know... I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice,
Indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left out, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean? Is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words...
Then you're the one that stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
what? Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
So then...
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to steal it. You want a Monokuma shirt ASAP? They have some on the Nipponichi store, Guru. They're okay. I wasn't crazy about it. There were some recently on the Yeti. Very tempting. Yeah, I think Celeste speaking up first all the time during the chase, when she was normally kind of quiet, is kind of the weirdest thing from the outset. That, and during the trial, she was always very dismissive of like, yeah, that's not important, or that's impossible, that would have never happened. I was like, Celeste, you're so obvious right now, like, stop trying to steer the case.
Say what?
What?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh,
He did.
As for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then... It's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. I take issue with Celeste using that as a lie. I don't like it. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime. An absolute crime. I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but...
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't imagine how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I've never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands.
Actually,
Taka is planning to use her to escape, and he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean... Taka is going to try to kill you,
indeed.
and all he can keep her, and also he can keep her to himself. That
is
bastard.
completely unforgivable.
Bastard, 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 bastard!
Honestly,
Can we allow him continue with these barbaric acts? Can we... They're missing a word in there. Can we allow him to continue with these barbaric acts? Absolutely not! How could I? She...
I swear I will save her!
actually,
Then, would you like to join me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. Huh? I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. Alter Ego is a laptop. It's Chihiro's laptop. Chihiro had hacked it so that you no longer like Celeste. I know, it's unfortunate. I really liked her up until now. It was a laptop that Chihiro had hacked into and put on a version of himself onto it to try to unlock the secrets of the school. And it was hidden away from Monokuma, so Monokuma doesn't know anything about it. So that's why they're trying to keep it hush-hush from Monokuma. But both Taka and Hifumi developed extremely strong attachments to Alter Ego, because Alter Ego represented to them both Chihiro, which became almost like a love interest for Hifumi, and was also another representation of Mondo to Taka, because Taka totally flipped out, and Alter Ego pretended to be Mondo for a second to try to help him feel better, and in doing so, it like totally made Taka flip out the other way, where Taka immediately glommed onto it as if it were Mondo itself. So Chihiro still lives, in a way, exactly. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. Yeah, it's kinda confusing, Oscar. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he made something like that, but it's my fault for picking him in the first place. Yeah, I mean, she's the ultimate gambler, so it was kind of bound to happen, Shiny One.
But...
So, why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid.
Huh?
That's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been very tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that, assuming you had actually let him live? You still have no idea what's going on. I can explain it to you, Reaper. I still smile and look pretty. That you do. That you do.
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once everyone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that. I'm glad, Garg. Well, of course, that wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Hifumi, the plan was, while you're all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. Nice, Reaper. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
So in the end...
So he had planned to kill him all along. But of course. There would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about that.
No, he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But
But all along you've been saying how you have to accept living here.
You little bitch!
Obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. I have so many toaster ovens around this room, just keeps giving them out. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there's no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. And what was this dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. Castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Wow, Celeste. I kind of like her less and less now, because I'm like, really? That's pretty shallow. Honestly, your plan is good. Work with person A, kill person B and person A. Give people blame person A, and she'd win by the rules of the court. Yep. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. It's true, Guru. Like, I really liked her, but the fact that she is so shallow, I'm like, I don't feel so bad now. Like, I felt much worse about Mondo. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you're really able to kill your own friends for it?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own end. I feel nothing.
do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying, and plus, How can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. You and your niece really liked Mondo. Mondo was cool, you know, like, it was just really unfortunate what happened. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. Oscar, wow. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice then,
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey,
You'd just get executed again. Celeste smiled then. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings. But that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills, kills!
You all done? Okay, then let's get rolling. The blackened disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment for her. The ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is.
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again, in another life.
Let's see what happens. Game over for Celeste. That smile of hers. Castle. Oh my god. The burning of the Versailles Witch. Damn. I thought they were, I was like, are they really gonna give her this romantic death, which would make her a martyr almost in a sense, and then they totally threw her in a fire truck. It's like, you put out that fire. It's like so ridiculous. Oh, what a gruesome way to go. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Geez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do you care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes, it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So, anyway, Kyoko, did I see you got some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey! Hey!
So, what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Who?
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh, how exciting.
Oh man. Oh jeez. Oh man, oh jeez. What do you mean, what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body. What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kinda awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well,
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya later!
Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we'd better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey,
I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? There's still the risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You? Please, let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
That's up to you now.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the dining hall, okay? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko there alone. Shiny. Thank you.
Shall we go?
Yeah,
So then,
we need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. And as the locker swung open, we saw...
You really
Good morning. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I'd never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. I stayed quiet the entire time.
So,
Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. Maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as the incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second? Since we have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do all on your own here at the school?
you.
Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However,
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried.
what?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that,
Indeed.
it's only natural that they think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No. I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me. Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's why I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then,
That's fine.
fine, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own 2 eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. And when it did, I went into action. Wonder what's gonna happen.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. And in the storage closet there, way in the back, she said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. The secret Kyoko told me about. Could it really be hidden here? She said it was way in the back of the storage closet. But I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet. And suddenly, as if I were being yanked in, shunk. At the same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. I had fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out, the back wall was like a revolving door. And I'd made my way to the other side, just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the 2nd floor, there's a storage closet. And way in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So this is a secret room. But what's in here? It's just a normal desk with normal drawers. There's a bunch of files and what look like volume after volume of yearbooks. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, One file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Hope's Peak Academy Student Registry. This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand, but before I had a chance to take a look at it, a slip of paper fell out of the file. I turned my attention to it. What's this? You must not leave. That's kind of weird. I could understand if it said something like, I can't leave, but you must not leave. What is this? My head feels funny. This strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? A strange sound rang out through my head. It felt like it was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been. Ow. Apparently something hit me. I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. The dull, throbbing pain in my head proved that much, at least. Oh, crap. Am I stuck here now? An empty bookshelf. Huh? Empty? Gone. It's all gone. The yearbooks, the student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone? What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The insistent pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room, get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back toward my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor of the school. The farther I walked, the more I felt things are getting blurry. Can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that, as if from a vast distance, I heard a sound. It was faint, but undeniable. That sound. It's coming from the gym? As I desperately hauled my shaky frame toward the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? It can't be nothing. Here, in the gym? I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sounds coming from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more. Before me, there raged a battle beyond anything humanly possible. No, one side's not human, that's for sure, but regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or even breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
the deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay. But you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? Then could it be the mastermind spy is? Next generation legend. Stand tall, galactic hero. To be continued. Super Robo Justice Prison. 3 is a crowd. I know. You were really cool. I know. Well, so was Celeste. Well, this seems like a good spot for me to stop, folks. I know. I'm really, like, curious where this is all going. I have my suspicions about the history of the school. It's very interesting. I'm really intrigued. But it is getting on to be about midnight my time. Still need to eat a little something before bed. Spend a little time before sleeping to just wind down and whatnot. And it's Halloween tomorrow, and lots of stuff to still do. Celeste was cool in a different way. Yeah, that was really good. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are all enjoying it. All right, let me go ahead and shut this down here. Case 4 really got me. Can't wait for you to get into it. I cannot wait. I cannot wait, Guru. I think I might try to play more of this on Sunday before D&D happens. Is there more to our game? Yes, there are definitely more chapters. I mean, 7 people are still alive. At least 7 students. So, that was deep as hell and shallow as well. I know! They say you shouldn't be telling Twitch that, you know, 3's a crowd, but lewd impressions and stuff. Thank you so much for the follows, folks. For anyone lurking, if you haven't already and you're enjoying the cast and the game, please feel free to follow so that you get updates on next time I go live. Feel free to follow my Twitter as well. I also try to give a little heads up on when I stream there if I can. Yeah, I don't tweet too much. Usually it's just like game news or retweets and such. But I try to keep it to a minimum to not blow up anyone's chat or feed. Good night, Globe. Twitch chat. You know, 3's a crowd. But no, I'm really, you'll be here for Sunday. Nice. I'm really enjoying it. Usually I have D&D at 6 p.m. On Sundays, Pacific Standard. Don't forget about daylight savings, folks. Daylight savings is on Sunday, so that might throw off schedules a little, hopefully for the better. But yeah, I'm hoping to get going fairly early, get some progress in on the game. I'm really enjoying it. It won't be October anymore, so it'd be nice to kind of get the game going and finish it off so I can move back to the other games I've already started and need to finish, namely Back to the Future, Final Fantasy XII, several others on top of that. Lurkers will be shot as soon as you make a noise and are found. No, we love our lurkers. Lurkers are the lifeline of Twitch, as Frag says. They're very important, and I am often a lurker in other channels. You can't always talk in a channel. You gotta have time to decompress and just watch and enjoy and be entertained, and that is totally okay. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Let me pull up some music while we're saying our goodbyes here. There we go. All right. But yeah, lurkers will be hugged and kissed, so beware. See you for case 4. Awesome, Guru. I cannot wait. Good night, Gargamer. Good night, X-Men. Good night, Shiny. Good night, Oscar. Thanks everyone for coming on by. And you make me giggle. Let me just double check. I don't know if anyone else I know is streaming, if we should send anyone over there. Let me just double check if there's any hosts I can do. I don't usually do raids, but if there happens to be someone playing a particular game that would fit, then I'll do it. But otherwise, I'll probably just host up someone after we're done. Bob Ross is streaming, of course, which is always excellent. And yeah. Alright, I think that's it. Yeah. I don't see anyone who's playing anything similar, so we're just gonna call it. Hugging and kissing me isn't advised. And again, I'm not a lurker, I'm a troll. Oh, the explosion of pink blood. Oh my, X-Men. Alright, everyone. Have a good one. So good to see everyone. And hopefully I will be able to stream more for you guys on Sunday. So hopefully we will see you then. Alright, everyone. Take care. Have a good rest. And if we don't see you tomorrow, happy Halloween. See ya. Bye.